The recent election has been a glorious mess of democracy, whether it's strong and stable or for the many, not the few. The election yielded incredibly shocking results. But what does this mean for Britain? Well, that's why I'm here with my cat who won't shut up to tell you what this means for the country and what this means for the future of politics. Potentially. Corbyn, the Social Democratic leader of the Labour Party, has gained the party a whopping 30 seats. This has shocked a lot of Tories and has convinced many leftists that Labour is once again the party for them. This has also silenced Corbyn's critics from inside of Labour and has kept the media at bay, putting them in a very strong position for the next election. Corbyn also struck a nerve with many young people, and more so than ever have young voters rallied behind Labour. And if I were to guess, the next election will be decided by the younger generation. The election has proven to be a massive propaganda victory for Labour, and maybe, just maybe, leftists will be considered cool again. Although the left has gained massively from the election, Theresa May is ultimately still in power, having formed a coalition with the DUP. More on that later. Naturally, a further 5 years of Tory leadership is not the greatest outcome, and I'll quickly mention some of the issues that I have with the Tory government. Firstly, they want to regulate the internet, which is a really bad move. Secondly, they want to scrap human rights laws just to combat terrorism, which is also a really bad move. And thirdly, they're in a coalition with some truly deplorable people, which is a really bad move. And it also brings me to our last section. The Conservatives are currently in a agreement with the DUP, and to really understand how terrible the DUP are, we need to look at the history of the party. The DUP was formed by former members of the Ulster Protestant Action Vigilante Group. The UPA are, to put it lightly, terrorists. They have been linked to several assassinations of Catholics, and they've been setting up vigilante patrols in Ireland for quite a while. So, yes, Corbyn did speak with terrorists, but before we go and accuse him of that, the Conservatives have just brought them into government. And it should also be noted that the DUP are anti-abortion, anti-LGBT, and anti-Catholic, so they're not exactly the most open-minded people. Since the peace process, the DUP has ceased many of its illegal activities. However, I genuinely struggle to sleep at night knowing a religious fundamentalist group holds a crap ton more power than they should. Imagine if ISIS had a coalition with the Tories, for God's sake. Everyone would lose their freaking minds. In conclusion, the election has, in the short term, really screwed up the government. We have terrorists and wannabe dictators in the majority of seats, and we certainly aren't in a great position to negotiate Brexit. However, in the long run, we've proven that modern politics still has room for old Labour, and I urge you to vote in the next election. Until then, though, take direct action and continue to radicalise your peers. Farewell for now, comrades. Good luck with the revolution, and goodbye. Quick side note, I'm not a social democrat, and I think that the only way to really change anything is through revolution. However, in the meantime, voting isn't exactly gonna harm us, is it? I mean, will Corbyn perfect our lives? No. But will he make them better? Yes. Yes, he will. Therefore, I would vote Labour even if we disagree on the majority of issues, because although I'm much more radical than their entire party, I genuinely think they're taking a positive step towards workers' well-being. Just wanted to clear that up, because this video seems very pro-Labour. I am actually a communist, but